I want to apologize for that noise, but I mean, come on. It's me. It's always some type of noise in the background. If it ain't my children, it's something. If it ain't the dogs, it's something. But anyway, hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Witches of the Moon. I am one of your hosts, Dia, aka Ori of OrioOasis.com, and this week we're talking about astrology. Now, in this video, I'm probably going to be just a tad bit all over the place. So I do have my notes that I am going to try to stick to keep me focused. Because I want to touch on three things. I want to touch on, questions that I get all the time. I definitely want to touch on these retrogrades, because these retrogrades have been wreaking havoc everywhere, be it in ourselves, in our relationships with people, and definitely globally, worldwide. I think understanding the retrogrades that we're going through or about to go through, and how long we might be in them, would help tremendously on understanding what's going on out there, and in here. Also, before I forget, I have two other astrology videos on this Witches of the Moon channel. One is the basics of astrology, and the other one is a little bit more complex. With that being said, I will, if not link the videos directly, link the other videos directly in this video. The links will be down below, so y'all can watch those to get because I don't want to really go into the basis, because it's already there, it's already done. Just watch the video. And the other one's a little bit more complex. But with that being said, astrology literally is just the study of the stars. It can be as complex or as simple as you make it. It is totally up to you how deep with it that you want to go. You don't have to be the biggest, best astrologer in the world. You don't. And there's so many different ways you can take astrology and incorporate it into your life and your practice and things like that, but I'll come back to that. Again, it's as simple or as deep as you want to go. So that's one of the main questions. Do I have to learn all this stuff? Do I have to memorize all this stuff? No, you do not have to memorize it. I don't memorize everything. Now, I would suggest learning the key phrases for the planets and the stars, and the key words that associate with them, for a basic understanding that can be built upon. And that's great. Start there. You can leave it there. You can stay there. Or use that as a basis to go up. Again, the basis of astrology, I start there. I think I do. I don't remember if I do the planets, but I know I actually do the signs in there with a basic understanding of how one sign leads into another, how the whole thing is a story that plays out. Now the next question that I get all the time is which astrology is right for me. There's so many different types. There's the ones Muslim. There's the Islamic one. There's the Greek one. And those two are really, really older, but more so nowadays people just want to know, what about the Vedic one? If you don't use the Vedic one, if we use the Western one, do I use tropical? Do I use sidereal? Or the one that's become more popular, do I go with the one that has the 13 signs instead of the 12 signs? No matter which one you go with, each system, right, has a specific energy that was there when you was born. So no matter which system it is, all of that energy was there when you was born in a specific place. So, which one is correct? All of them are correct. Every last one of them. You just have to choose which one you feel connected to the most, and which one you understand the best, and which one you like to use. It doesn't really matter. All of them are correct. And when you start working with different ones, I've worked with the Vedic, of course I work with the Western, I worked with the 13 signs one, and for me, I like to go with one that fits in the biblical narrative, because the understanding makes it much easier when I explain it to other people, and it makes it much easier when I'm working with it for myself. Is it a little bit of a box? Yeah, but it's my box, so I can choose when to go in and out the box whenever I want to. Just find the one that is right for you, whichever one you like. And if you want to stick with the basic, stick with the basic. Don't make it deeper than what it has to be. Don't put that much pressure on yourself. Astrology is It's astrology. It's as simple as complex, like most things. It's either as simple as complex as you want to make it. Okay? Now, the next one, the next question I get, should I pay for an astrology reading or should I just go get a free one? If you know a little bit about astrology, get the free one. Why waste money? You don't have to. My main thing is, here's my main thing. If you're going to pay for an astrology reading, make sure they just don't tell you the energy that's out there. Make sure they're telling you how to use it, or there's a consultation happening where once they give you the chart, you can have this time to consult and ask questions about certain energies that's out there. Okay? So as far as paying versus getting it free, if you know astrology on your own, boom, get the free one. Don't pay somebody to tell you what you already know. But if you're going to pay for one, make sure they have solutions, because astrology chart is only going to tell you the positive energies and where you're going to have negative energies, where the conflicts are. But it does not tell you how to get around those conflicts. That's where a consultation, or when you sit down with someone who does astrology readings like myself, I don't like to call them readings, I like to call them chart analysis, where we come in and we look for solutions to these energy issues, how to work with them or work around them, how to make it work for you. Okay, so with that, let's get into these retrogrades. And this video is going to be kind of long, I'm sorry, and I need water. So now let's get into these retrogrades. All right, now in case you haven't noticed, it seems like the world is in a tailspin right now. Everything is coming out, things you didn't want to know about people around you, things you didn't want to know about yourself or didn't know about yourself, things about people out there in the world. A lot of things are getting exposed to the world. So with that, that definitely can be explained through these retrogrades. So I'm gonna start with that retrograde. With things being exposed, dark secrets coming out, you start to see how people truly feel about you, what they truly think about you, and you never notice. You start to feel things within yourself that you never felt before, and you start to see things that those rose-colored glasses are just like going. This has to all do with Jupiter in retrograde in Scorpio. Now, with Jupiter in retrograde, now keep in mind, there's a bunch of retrogrades going on right now, and that's why everything's so crazy, but it started last year. Jupiter started going to retrograde, and now we're like in the height of it. It's going to ease up. Well, it's starting to ease up now, actually. The energy of that is starting to ease up now, but it truly won't be over until October as far as Jupiter in retrograde. Now, Jupiter is in retrograde in Scorpio. Jupiter is the planet of expansion. Jupiter does not care what it expands. You give it to Jupiter, Jupiter is going to expand it. Negative, positive, Jupiter is indifferent to it. With that being said, Jupiter is in retrograde in Scorpio. Scorpio is the sign of sex and secrets and dark magic and things like that. So with it being in this planet of dark secrets and sexual arts and magic, also when dealing with legacies and to an extent lawsuits and inheritances and stuff like that, Jupiter is now in this sign. So everything about Scorpio, right, that's normally kept hidden, because mind you, Scorpio normally keeps all this stuff hidden underground. You don't get it, you don't see it. Jupiter is in there right now, exposing all this because it's in retrograde. So what happens is that it's not like, how do I explain it? Because, okay, Jupiter expands stuff, right? When Jupiter's in retrograde, it's supposed to practically like kind of holds it in. So what it is most people are exposing themselves, right? When things happen and people are slipping up, that's what's happening. The little things are slipping up, you getting caught slipping, basically. The world is getting caught slipping. You're finding a bunch of stuff, hearing a bunch of things, little things people are talking about, that they said way back then, it's now coming back up because they slipped up and got caught on camera saying it, court video saying it, or someone is remembering bringing it up. Yeah, basically, you got caught slipping. So that's one layer of the energies that's out there right now. Okay, so let's go to, since we did Jupiter, let's do Jupiter's best friend, which is Saturn, right? Saturn is also in retrograde, and it'll ease up. It's in the thick of the retrograde right now. It'll ease up around the beginning of September, sometime around September, and it won't totally end until, let me make sure I'm on the right line. It won't totally end until December, but that retrograde is in Capricorn. Now, Saturn is the planet of what most people call karma. Basically, the idea of what you do, you get back times 3. That will be Saturn. Saturn is the planet of discipline. Saturn is the planet of basically what you put in it is what you're going to get back out of it. That's the planet of Saturn. With that being said, Saturn is in Capricorn. Capricorn is the sign of using. Capricorn's key phrase is I use. However, with Capricorn being in, with Saturn being in retrograde, Capricorn also, because it knows how to use this stuff, is where you get your rewards and things like that. There's no rewards coming in for most people right now. So it's like they're doing and doing and doing and doing and doing, and you feel like you're doing and doing and doing, and you're not getting nothing back. In relationships and kids and children, at work, whatever it is, it feels like right now that you're doing everything, your back is against the wall, and there's just like no relief, there's no sign. That is Saturn in retrograde right now, and Capricorn. So that's another layer of energy that we have. So since we're doing that, let's switch to Uranus, which is, well, it's pronounced Uranus, but I like to say Uranus because I get to say anus. But Uranus is also in retrograde, and that energy will not ease up until, I'm sorry, no, it won't ease up. I'm reading the wrong line. Uranus is in retrograde now, but you won't really feel it. You won't be in the thick of it until we go into August. And that's when you really want to feel that energy, like the hardest. And then it'll start to ease up around January 2019, but it won't fully be going until next April. Now, Uranus it's going back and forth in this retrograde. It's going back and forth between Taurus and Aries. Aries is the I am, the who you truly are, the basic, the core. And Taurus is possessions, material things. Again, we're just going to keywords to keep understanding. Uranus is the planet of originality. So right now, what's happening is you don't feel original anymore. As this energy goes on, you're going to stop feeling special. What you thought makes you special is not going to feel special anymore. You're going to feel calm and complacent, all that energy. And everything around you, is going to feel like you need something new. Why, I look like my cheek is swollen. Is it? I hope not. Anyway, everything around you, basically, with your possessions and stuff, you're not going to like them no more. They're not going to bring you the greatest joy they used to. It seems like everybody has, there's nothing that's going to say, you're going to feel like there's nothing that's basically you anymore. Like you're going to feel like it starts going to make you feel like you haven't been seen. Well, I put my notes where I studied that. Like you're not being seen. Like you're just on a factory line with everybody else. Okay? So we covered that. So let's go. So we did Uranus. Let's go to Neptune. We are in a Neptune retrograde right now. This energy will not ease up until November, but it will not end until March of 2019. But again, we'll get a little bit of a break in November, where the energy will start to get lighter and lighter and lighter until it fully ends in, March. This retrograde is in Pisces. Neptune is the higher octave of Venus. But with that doesn't really, that's when you want to go deeper. Don't worry about that part right now. Right now, keep it simple. Neptune is the planet of spirituality, philosophy more so, spirituality and illusions. And let's leave it right there. Spirituality and illusions. Keep it very simple. Pisces is the believer, I believe. So right now, because Neptune is in retrograde, it is basically causing you to question all your beliefs. Whether they're new, whether they're hardcore, whether they're ingrained. We're at a time where collectively and individually, we are questioning all our beliefs. And this is causing people to really go crazy and either really fight for something that they probably need to let go of, just to keep a hold on something, just to keep sanity. Really, they're really fighting for it because it's all they know and it's being questioned, and because this is all they know, this is their sanity, so people are really fighting for their sanity, on a grander scale and personally. So we have that level. Well, now first you're questioning we're about to go into your reign, so we're going to question who you are. We feel like we're not getting no reward. All our little secrets and stuff is being exposed. We're starting to see other people slip up and do things and see other sides of them we never saw before. And now we got spirituality coming in, that part where we're getting questioned on that. Okay, next planet in retrograde, because we ain't done yet, okay, is, let's go to Mars. Mars is now in retrograde. Now, Mars is the planet, for me, of sex and war. It's just pure energy, pure passion. I explained in how Mars connects to iron, and I explained about iron in a video about the cauldron, so go back and check that out. We were talking about cauldron magic and how iron connects to blood, and Mars planet connects to that blood energy. So basically with the blood, you can either create, as in sex, love, create a baby, or you can go to war, as in shed blood, sacrifice, and do that. However, Mars is in retrograde, so all that passion, all that energy is kind of being drained. Now, because it's the end of July, Mars, this energy eases up. I think it's I want to say somewhere in the middle of August, the energy is going to ease up. So we're getting a break from that. And most of us, we should already start to feel that break. Your passion may not have fully come back, but you're getting a little bit of, you can breathe. But it's little breaths, because still all the other stuff is layered on top. Now, Mars is in retrograde in Capricorn and Aquarius. Now again, the energy eases up in August, but it doesn't end until October. So even though it eases up, that retrograde still don't fully end until October. What was I going to say? Capricorn and Aquarius, right? Capricorn we already talked about, because it's the key phrases I use. So this is where you're supposed to be able to use stuff to get your rewards and get your accolades and things like that. But with Mars being retrograde, there's no energy to do so. It's just, you really like forcing yourself to get out of bed just to go brush your teeth to get back in bed. That's pretty much how it feels right now. And with Aquarius being the knower, it feels like you know everything and nothing. And it goes back again to where, going back into Neptune, where you're questioning everything. Because it feels like you know everything and nothing all at the same time. Well, what is going on with this? I don't know. Okay. So we have that, where you feel like you know everything and nothing at the same time. You just, everything you try to do, it just ain't working out. It's just, like, there's really no word for that, but y'all know what this expression is, where you're just like, okay. So then let's go to Venus. Venus is not in retrograde yet, but coming September, wait, is it? No, I'm sorry, I read my notes wrong. I got sloppy hair right now, so. But I did want to make sure I wrote down my notes to make sure I touch everything so I don't go all over the place, which I'm about to do now. Venus, come September, you're really going to feel the energy. The hardest part is really going to hit between October, November, and then it'll start to ease up. And Venus will be in retrograde in Scorpio. We just talked about Scorpio. Now, Venus is the planet of luxury, the arts, where you find beauty at, the arts, music, luxury. And that thing, and it's going to be in retrograde in Scorpio. And Scorpio is your desires and stuff and all that. So basically, the things that you used to find beauty in and luxury in, you may not find it. The beauty and luxury, you may not find it in that thing no more. You may have to start looking for stuff. And while you're looking for stuff, it's going to take a minute, because you may not find beauty in anything. Whew. That's another layer. Keep in mind, all these retrogrades are just layered on top. Energy after energy after energy after energy. That's just like one big boom to all of us. But keep going. I'll explain. now, like literally just now, we're going into a retrograde, or the thick of the retrograde of Mercury. Now, we normally have 3 Mercury retrogrades a year. For most people, it's not a big deal. For some people, it is. But with all these retrogrades together, we do have other retrogrades throughout the year, but normally every year. But normally, it doesn't hit like boom, 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 boom. Where it's like every planet is like to us. You know what I mean? So it's like literally the planetary system is like sick of us. They just said to all of us, "We out, y'all figure it out." That's what I really feel like with all these retrogrades right now. But then there's Mercury. So Mercury just started. It's in Leo. Now, here's the problem with Mercury and Leo. Mars is going close to easing up. But with Mercury going in Leo, Leo is your creativity. Leo is that like the little childlike part of you that just like, I'm not going to overanalyze it. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to just go with it. Here goes Mercury in retrograde, which normally Mercury communicates the energy, but now that it's in retrograde, there's no communication going on. So you may have a tendency to jump into a lot of stuff without actually thinking it through, and then come back and bust you in the head because you didn't fully read, or you didn't really do it, or you may miss opportunities because you're trying to overthink it. You're trying to think it through, but the energy to think through is in retrograde, so it's not there. So with that, I would say definitely stay away from making judgment decisions, like quick judgment decisions. You might want to basically, this ain't the time to be having no one night stands. Just saying. And that'll come out at the end of September. But however, Mercury is going to go back into retrograde. It'll start mid-November, but we really won't get hit. I mean, it'll start in October, but mid-November, early December is when you're really going to get hit. And then that's going to be in, where did I put it? Oh, Sagittarius and Scorpio. That's what I was looking for, where I put it, where the thing is at. That next one is going to be between Sagittarius and against Scorpio. We talked enough about Scorpio and about how things was going to go. I just showed you what Mercury is going to do when it comes to Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the seer. Now, I found the best explanation for Sagittarius to explain to other people without even trying to look for it, right? So last week, there's a beautiful woman by the name of Liani. I hope I said her name right, but she has the magical solution. And last week she did a video on white supremacy and how it affects no. Last week she did a video on white supremacy and how it affects the pagan community. Before you go there with the title, it's not what you think. It's not what you think. It's very thought through. It's very educational. It don't place the blame. She pulls out timeline and history, and they're really talking about the Nordic deities, the Odin, and all that. She really come from it from that perspective through history and time. But with that being said, because I'm about to go on a little rant, she interviews this lady. I can't remember the lady's name. If I can find a YouTube video, because she said she's going to put it up on YouTube. Haven't found it yet, but she puts it up on YouTube. I'll link that down below too. The lady that she interviews says that, I learned something, that at one time, archery, like throwing arrows, throwing spears, that was considered a form of divination. And as soon as she said that, it clicked. When people ask me about Sagittarius, that's the best way to describe it, because Sagittarius looks like an arrow being thrown in the air, right? With that, when it comes to an arrow being thrown in the air, the arrow, one arrow has to be thrown to test the direction, the way the wind is, right? With the way the wind is blowing, and maybe how, if they're trying to hit a certain target, how fast that target is going, so they know the distance, and then they could throw out another arrow. So basically what they're doing is divination. They're finding things out. They're seeing future. They're seeing the future based on the combination of patterns that's happening right now. Here's the thing though. Mercury's going to be in retrograde in that. So it may mess, so if you're trying to divine your future for certain things, we may have to do a little bit of extra stuff because that energy is going to be messed with and you're not really going to be able to see it. Now, keep in mind, in saying all this, how it truly affects you, you will have to know your natal charts, your natal chart. I would also suggest getting a geographical natal chart, which is the energy basically wherever, if you don't live in the same city you was born in, right, or the same state you was born in, get another chart with your date of birth, of course, your date, birth, year of birth, the time you was born, but put in the city and state or whatever location that you live in now, if it's not the same place. That's going to give you the energy of what you have to work with in the area that you have now. And then you can compare that to the retrogrades and see how, and you know, the daily ones, to see how it'll work with you, or how closely it will affect you. And also, you might want to do it for your children or close family members if you know the information, to see how all these things is going to play out if you want to go that deep. Again, you can keep it simple. All you really need to know is what retrogrades out there, and pretty much all of them are, even Pluto. I forgot to tell you that. Pluto's in retrograde now, and it'll ease up around September, but it won't end until January of next year, and that's in Capricorn. So Pluto is the planet of death and renewal. So all this trying to rebirth yourself and make yourself new, or, you know, making anything new, or seeing things in a new light, or try to use things basically in a different way, because it's in Capricorn. Capricorn's the user. It ain't there. Like I said, right now, it seems like the universe right now is saying to all of us, basically, it's like, I'm tired of y'all, I'm sick of y'all, y'all figure it out. That's how I feel about these retrogrades and how it's going down. Okay, so with that explained, before you sit there and get deep down depressed and all this, like, okay, whatever, I'm just not going to do nothing until next year, because that's when basically, or next spring, because that's when basically everything will seem to lighten up. Like I said, the best when it comes to astrology, I like going to the Christian theos because it makes sense to me. In the Bible, there is a passage that says, follow the man with the picture. Follow the man with the picture into the new world, or to the new house, or something like to that order. And it also talks about coming into the age of man. This, I believe, is exactly what it was talking about. It's not the time to worship. Like, a lot of people thought, well, this is going to be a time where we're going to worship ourselves. No, this is the time where we're just going to find out who we truly are and what we're truly made of. That's pretty what it is. And again, when we spoke about the man with the water pitcher, that's Aquarius. That's the knower, right? So with knowing and getting, this is the time when you're going to get to truly know who you are and who the people are around you, and totally adjust. Blinders are taken off, all filters are taken off, all things that we thought, you know, oh, it's okay, no, everything is being shown for a reason, and it's for us to figure it out. It's for us to basically see what's going on, what we're really doing, and seeing what really are the results. You know, it's those patterns that we have that we don't recognize, that are keeping us from doing stuff. It's truly being shown. You know, their fault versus our fault, it don't even matter, because it's showing you, even if it's their fault, it's showing you why you're still taking it, and how you're still taking it, and why, and asking you, why are you still being involved in this? It's basically for us to clean ourselves up, for we can be better. So as we go into truly knowing ourselves and getting to learn ourselves, we can truly use that to better ourselves. That's really what all this is. It's kind of like when you've been telling your kids something over and over and over and over and over and over again. You talk to you blue in your face, your kids don't listen, so finally you decide to shut up and let them do it on your own. That's what the universe is doing to us right now. The universe is shutting up and letting us figure it out on our own. So that's that. Now, with that being said, I think I covered all the questions. Well, that's one more question that I normally get, but that's more of a divination question. It'll take a little bit longer to answer, because most people always ask me, how do I divine with these cards, which again are astrology cards. This light ain't worth a damn. One second, guys. Hey, my bad. I had a light that I was trying to use, but as you can see, there's no different with it on or off. But anyway, what was I saying? With that particular deck, is you don't have, first of all, let me answer that question real fast. I will get back to this. You don't have to know all of astrology to use this deck. Okay? Just know the key phrases and the key words. And the stories and how they interact with each other. Especially when it comes to the planets, the mythology behind them helps, but you don't even have to know the deep part of mythology, just a little bit. And then saying that, let's bring in the books, because everybody loves books, right? Not really, but we need them. Some nice stuff. So I'm pretty sure this book has been spoken about, because everybody speaks about this book. The only astrology book you will ever need, by whoever name was on there, Joanna Martin, whatever. It's up there. You see it, right? This is a great book for beginners. And while this is the only astrology book you will ever need, if you want to keep it simple, stay there. You don't need nothing else. That's all you need to know. But if you want to go deeper, this book is one of the ones I like that goes just a step deeper. It's the A to Z Horoscope Maker and Interpreter by Louian, whatever. I don't pay attention to authors majority of the time. I just know what I like and what I use. So the author's there. You pull it back. Hopefully you can see the whole book. If not, take a screenshot and you can pretty much match the books up. So that's that. Now again, like I said, I like going to astrology according to the theology, Christian theology, and things like that. So these two books are a book set. As you see, they're not that thick. They're very easy to read through, and it's a great guide to start. They explain it through basically Christianity and things like that. This is called the Astrological Foundation of the Christ Myth, Book 1. Let me move my hand so you can see all of it. And this is the Astrological Foundation of the Christ Myth, Book 2. And this basically, now, when you read it, there's supposed to be a part 3. The author never made a part 3. I don't know what's going on. I believe the author might have passed away. I don't know. But when you read that book, don't look at it as a book to just say, oh, I knew Christ didn't exist and this and that. No, look at it for the hidden information. When you deal with the Bible, there's always the information for the masses. But for those who are in the occult, for those who don't, for those in alchemy, there's another hidden layer that the Bible speaks of, which, while may not be literal, as far as the literal word being literally true, each by word, each story that actually happened, it does explain something, and it does have things that can pertain to your life and help you out, whatever. But that's if you want to work with the Bible from that angle. Totally up to you. This is also another one, Astrology, Cosmic Science. This has a very heavy Christian overtone, but I love it. I don't really necessarily say that I go or agree with this 100% step by step. However, it is also a great place to help you understand Christianity from an astrology perspective, or if you're used to Christianity and you're getting into other stuff, or becoming bigger into pagan stuff, or taking Christianity to the occult side. Maybe you want to be a Christian witch. Great book to have. Great book to learn. It has all the astrology stuff in there. Now, before I was saying, let me get straight to other stuff. This book, I can't remember. I can see her face. I've been trying to remember her name the whole time, but she does tarot readings and things, and she has a bunch of books. And I believe she was moving, and she was trying to sell her books, and I got a bunch of books from her. This is Planets and Aspects. Again, you don't have to memorize all the stuff. If you have the books, just refer to the books whenever you need to. This is another great book, Planets and its Aspects. If you want to take your studies deeper, this is a great book to have. The Astrology of the Individual Experience. Another great book to have. The titles are pretty much self-explanatory, so, those reference books. This is another one. The one talk about aspects, this talks about planet in transit. So if you want to, so this is another book, Planet in Transit by, I don't know, it's up there somewhere. Robert? Did I say Robert Hand? Yeah, Robert Hand. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all know when you're recording a video, everything to us looks backwards. So, now, this is also one of my favorite books. I believe the last couple of books I showed y'all were all from the same lady. The hand-me-downs that I was able to get for her for a great price. But anyway, this is the Astrology of Human Relationships. Actually, I think during this time, this will probably be number one book to get. But it's great to understand. Now, you had those books where you got to go a little bit deeper into astrology, learn, but those are great to have to understand how to interact with the world around you and how to interact with yourself. People, places, energies that's out there. It helps you how to be, as we say, as another biblical term, how to be in the world but not of the world. How to fluctuate and move in the world without getting so attached to the point where it's tearing you down. To understand that a lot of things that's going on may be focused on you or attacking you, but it's not really about you. They're just using you as a target reflection of them. And it's how to maneuver. It's also a great book this is also a great book for parents. Okay? Another one. Now this book I bought myself. Star Maps. It's basically it has pictures. I like to do it this way because of the pictures. It has pictures, some black, white, some everything. It goes into a lot of different stuff. It talks about constellation maps, cosmology, times to calendar, Chinese constellations. It goes into the Greek. It goes to the Islamic. It goes into historical cosmology, interlude, certain changes. It goes into some constellations that no longer exist. Of course, they give you maps and everything. And it's like, as far as it's pages and pages and pages of the contents, just so you know. Even for the front, all these pages right here is just telling you the contents of the book. So that's also a great book. I still have not fully read that book. I go back and forth. Again, it's a reference book. It's a book when I'm ready to read a little bit more, I go and read some. But so far I love it. English Bible, and I have not read that one front to cover all the way through. I pick a certain section of whatever I need to study that time, go there and go back about my business. So, if you want to learn about 13 signs, I'm pretty sure there's other books out there, something to touch on it, but this is the only book that I know of. The 13th Sign by Mary Frances, however you say her last name, because I don't want to jack it up. This is a great book. It's not thick, it's easy to read, and really, you could just skip to the 13th sign and just read that and leave the rest of the book alone if you want to work with 13 signs. Now, books that I also, well, I won't say I love this book, but it's another book, but I can't think of it because I don't even think it's in print no more. I have it in PDF form, and I couldn't find it. That I think is much better than this. It may be where she pulled some information from, I don't know, but it's much better than this. However, this is a very easy guide if you work with angels and you want to start working with angels in astrology or learn astrology through angels. This book by Doreen Virtues and Yasmin Boland. Great book to have. Great book. I don't work with angels, but I thought it was kind of cool and using it. And when I give my spell consultation, when I give my readings, it always ends in a spell consultation, or sometimes I just get spell consultations. And as a reader and a spell consultant, spiritual worker, I have to be able to adjust to what they work with. Even though I don't work with angels, they do. So that's something that I have when working with stuff. I understand things through astrology because I do my cards this way. You know, I love working with the deck, so when something comes out, I go to the book, say start there, and we'll research angels, things like that, and I'm rambling. It's a great book to have. Okay, so next, if you are into past lives and things, past lives, I believe this is another book I got from the same lady, but Past Lives by Marilyn Devine, How to Read Past Lives According to Astrology. Great book right here, great book to have for past lives. I can't say that I agree with it 100%, but the more that I go back and reread or go back to certain chapters or go back and think about certain things, the more that I start to get it and I'm liking it more. I'm starting to agree with this a little more. But of course, sexuality. Astrology for a great sex life. Love this book. I'm going to let y'all go ahead and discover the beauty of this book, but I will say it gives you certain positions, who lines up with who. If you don't line up with the person, you with that person, how to make it work. Great book. Well, she don't really say how to make it work, but if you read the book, you can definitely figure out how to do it. And for those of you who are into the tantric practices, this is a great book to have. For those of you who are in relationships and maybe a little bit bored with relationship, you're trying to figure out what's going on in the sex area, this is a great book to have. For those of you who are single, definitely great book to have. Okay, I have 2 more books, and then we can shut this down. This is a long video. Feng Shui. Feng Shui, astrology for lovers. This is a way to use astrology and Feng Shui together. It's more so Feng Shui though. It's not really an astrology book. However, because it has the name astrology in it, I think it's a great book to have. And how to basically set up, love environment, a romantic environment, how to do it according to energies, which is the reason why they call it Feng Shui astrology, because it's how to do it according to the energy of your home and how the corners and stuff is set up and numbers and things like that. Even though this is a thin book, I won't exactly say that it's an easy read if you don't know astrology. However, it's very easy to pick up. I'll say that. I mean, if you don't know feng shui, I'm sorry. If you don't know feng shui, I won't say it's an easy read, but I will say it's easy to pick up and understand. The last book I'm going to show you is this book, New Moon Astrology. And the reason why I suggest this book is because it tells you every sign according to the new moon and the energies in it. So like Libra, it literally tells you exactly, you know, what type of spells and stuff or rituals you can work on. So for Libra, you got marriage, negotiating skills, harmony, teamwork, social diplomacy, refinement, healing, and codependency. So these are the energies for Libra. So you can use new moons to heal yourself from it. As far as negotiating skills, how to better them, marriage, how to do spells to better your marriage. This has a better what's what I'm looking for? You can do spells to better your marriage and stuff to tighten it up, get it right, get it tight. And what I really love about this book is that it also tells you what can go bad, what are the negative energies, which right now I can't find. Probably because that's Libra. Let me go to the other one. Okay, this one's for Virgo. So like say this one tells you it rules worry, criticism, blame, and judgment. I like that it gives the negative side too, because you can kind of see how the new moon is going to affect other people around you and conversations that may come up. And also you can already have a ritual or a spell or something that you created done to combat against that energy. So if you really want to get into spell work according to astrology, or at least according to the signs in the new moon where it's in, this is a great book to have. So this video is now much longer than I thought it was going to be, but it is what I wanted to do. Thank you all. If you made it this long through this whole video, thank you for watching. Sorry this long. I'm sorry that I talk really, really fast. I don't know what to tell you about that. Tell your ears to speed up. I'm sorry. Please watch everybody's videos. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. I love you all. Don't forget to be a blessing. Don't forget to stay blessed, to be a blessing, and basically keep your head up, because that's all I can say right now about these energies. All right? See you next week. Peace.